Twice a year, NATO crews from across the region descend upon the Baltic nation of Latvia to compete against each other to see who has the sharpest skills when operating tanks and IFVs. The competition goes by the name Iron Spear and is one of the few opportunities to see a wide variety of armoured weapons platforms in one place, shooting side by side or one after another. And while it's technically a competition, the event is meant to foster camaraderie between allies. So let's take a look at what is known about Iron Spear and look at the equipment participating in the event. The very first Iron Spear competition took place in 2018. Its intent is to, quote, improve cohesion and interoperability across the enhanced forward presence units in the Baltic states and Poland, while simultaneously demonstrating NATO firepower. The reason that Iron Spear takes place twice per year is because most troops deployed to NATO Forward Land Forces units are on 6-month rotations. Thus, holding it just once a year would deprive some crews of the opportunity. Being a military YouTube channel with a largely military, ex-military and military enthusiast audience, we would love to explain the specifics of the competition, such as the number of targets or time limitations or other aspects. We weren't able to find any such specifics, but we were informed that the core of the competition for both tanks and IFVs is accuracy and speed, with points being awarded for both of these skills and crews having to strike a balance between the two factors. We were also informed that each rotation has their own spin on the competition, and so there may be differences in scoring and challenges. For example, we aren't sure if it's happened in the past, but it looks like this jerry can relay was part of the 2502 challenge.
Ok, rimani qua, tu tocca il carro, stai vicino al carro, appena la lanci, vieni qua.
But here's a Canadian officer to explain things at a broad level.
So Iron Spear is a competition where two vehicles work together. They move, they shoot, and they communicate. They have to shoot while on the move, and they have to use the terrain to destroy the enemy.
This Italian Ariete tank crew commander also had this to say.
Today we will do the 4 static shooting and then 3 in movement during these exercises.
We also have the following information from a 2020 NATO Multinational Corps Northeast press release. The event is split into 2 separate competitions. One competition is designed to challenge the unique skills required of an infantry fighting vehicle or IFV crew, whereas the other was designed to push main battle tank or MBT crews to their limits. In addition to these 2 competitions, there is also a daytime and a nighttime firepower demonstration. The Iron Spear trophy goes to the top MBT crew, and the Iron Cup trophy is awarded to the top IFV crew. Despite regular press releases and social media posts being put out for Iron Spear, it can be argued that record-keeping for this competition is somewhat decentralized at best, or non-existent at worst. Indeed, we asked for a list of winners, and we were told no such records exist. It's somewhat understandable given that 1. It's a friendly competition, and 2. The main goal of forces being in the region is the more serious job of combat training and deterrence against Russian aggression. In that sense, bragging rights are less important, even if us military enthusiasts would love to know. We've looked through the last 6 or 7 years of available information about Iron Spear and compiled a list of winners. Since it might be boring for some viewers to have us read the results of some 14 competitions, we'll put this at the very end of the video. That being said, everything from here on out is more for tank and IFV nerds who just want to see explosions and rounds being fired off. It might be of less interest for everyone else. You've been warned. We were given a lot of footage with no clear idea of chronological order. There's some footage of vehicles driving around, some footage of ammunition being loaded, some drone footage, and even some POV video as well. We won't show everything, but here are some of the standout shots captured for Iron Spear 25-02, which took place in November. First up is this footage of France's wheeled 6x6 AMX-10 RC fire support weapon, followed by Challenger 2s from the UK. Next we have Poland and their Leopard 2PLs. Now you can see Italy's 8x8 wheeled Centauro tank destroyer in action. Here we have the Americans and their M1 Abrams tanks. Now we have the Spaniards and their Leopard 2Es. Next are Norway's Leopard 2A4NOs. Continuing with Leopard 2 tanks, here are the Germans who are stationed in Lithuania. Here are Canadian Leopards, the 2A4M variant. And finally for tanks, we have Danish Leopard 2s. For IFVs, we begin with Canada and their LAV 6s. Here are Italy's Dardo infantry fighting vehicles. These are CV90s from Denmark. Here you see the Pizarro IFV from Spain. And finally, more CV90s, this time from the Netherlands. And so this might be boring for some of you or interesting for others, but let's end off with the list of winners that we could find for each and every iteration of Iron Spear. This Facebook post from April 2019 states that the Germans and their Leopard 2 tanks took first place, a mixed German-Canadian team took second, and a UK team, which we presume used the Challenger 2, took third place. It looks like the earliest iterations of this competition may have been tanks only. Based on the caption of this Facebook video, the October 2019 iteration saw a French Leclerc team in first, a Norwegian Leopard 2 team place second, and an American Abrams team take third place. According to this Spanish article, the first competition of 2020, the Spaniards took the first 3 places in the tank competition and even the first place in the armored vehicle competition. Impressive. We assume the Spaniards were using the Leopard 2E and the Pizarro IFV for the respective competitions. This press release says that the second Iron Spear of 2020 was won by Norwegian MBT and IFV crews, presumably with the Leopard 2 and the CV90 IFV. This Norwegian Army Facebook post says that the first Iron Spear of 2021 was won by Norway again. The post specifies that Norway's 2nd and 4th Armoured Squadrons were the best teams in their respective classes. For tanks, they came in 1st and 2nd place, and for assault vehicles, they came in 1st and 3rd place. While we were able to find video of the 2nd Iron Spear of 2021, we couldn't find any information about winning teams. But it looks like the following competition in early 2022 saw Norway win yet again for both categories. Indeed, it was stated that the tank team had over twice as many points as the 2nd place team. The November 2022 event saw Spain's Leopard 2s win the MBT category, while the Estonians and their CV90s won for IFVs. Defence Express reports that the May 2023 tank competition was won by the Brits and their Challenger 2, and this was followed by the Spanish with their Leopard 2E and the Americans with their Abrams. In the infantry fighting vehicle category, the Canadian crew with their LAV 6 won, while the Spanish crews with their Ascot Pizarro took 2nd and 3rd places. The late 2023 competition had the British Army's Challenger 2s win in the tank category, while Canada's LAV 6s win the IFV category. We couldn't find any information for the 2024 competitions, and so that leaves us with the 2 most recent Iron Spear challenges. For May 2025, this social media post by multinational battle group Lithuania states the following for the tank competition. First place went to Poland's Leopard 2PL, second place went to Norway's Leopard 2A4 team, in third was a Swedish Stridsvagn 122 team, showing off tactical brilliance and consistent impact. The IFV competition was won by the Swedish battalion. And finally, the most recent competition in November 2025 saw Norway win the tank category, with Denmark and Poland in 2nd and 3rd. The Danes won the IFV category, with the Netherlands and Canada following. Whew, that was a lot of information. So if you're still watching, congratulations. Looking at all the available information, it would appear that the Norwegians have most often come out on top in both categories, while Spain has been mentioned quite a bit for both categories as well. Clearly, whatever they're doing with crew training seems to be working. What do you think of this competition and the results? How much of the result do you think comes from the equipment, and how much do you think comes from the crew using it? And which tanks and IFVs are your favorites? Let us know by leaving a comment.